Jesus told us that in this world, there's going to be trouble. That's what he tells us. John chapter 16, verse 33, for in this world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world. And that's good news. And sometimes we just have to hold on to that good news, because there are times in life when trouble just seems to overwhelm you. And so that's why I spent all the last week on the broadcast talking about the analysis of tribulation and trouble and the makeup of trouble and how to be able to isolate and identify exactly what the trouble is so that we can begin the process of mending it and bringing resolution and bringing peace. That's the thing that we desire, isn't it? We just want to have peace. And most of us, we just want to live our lives. We just want to be able to get up in the morning, go to work, do the things you need to do, take care of your family, and then do it all over again the next day. But there are times when trouble arises. And the trouble many times becomes seemingly bigger than life itself. And it can cause much anxiety and stress and strain. So, how do you deal with it? And we spent some time just talking about getting it isolated and finding ourselves in a position to where we can know exactly where the hurt is, so that we know where to pray and where to designate our prayers as we go before the Father and we tell Him what's going on in our lives, so that He can begin to minister to us. And that's the whole process of just being able to focus on it. And then, as I talked about last week about stopping the brooding. Brooding simply means non-productive thinking. That thing about letting it just go round and round and round in your mind and your brain, and you never find any resolution. It just wears you out and causes the stress and strain to be even more so. So that brought us to the number one thing we have to look for when we're finding ourselves dealing with the stress and strain of trouble and tribulation. Because many times the source of our trouble has to do with another human being. Somebody who perhaps has violated you in some way or another and caused you to feel like that you have been abused. And it's amazing when you begin to examine the teachings that Jesus gave us when He talked about praying for people, forgiving people, and even forgiving those who despitefully use you. That's what Jesus said. Pray for that person who would despitefully use you. Because what we hope for is forgiveness. To be able to truly forgive and put it aside. Put it aside. And you're not brooding over it anymore. You're not constantly thinking about it anymore. You've just forgiven, asked for forgiveness, both from a human standpoint and to God. And said, Lord, give me the peace that comes from forgiveness. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.